Alright guys, everyone should be passing D your quiz and your outlines to Jamie, please. Everyone else should have on their desk focus, study guide, whiteboard. Let's go. Alright, on your whiteboard, please tell me what is an unfertilized egg called? On your whiteboard, please tell me what is an unfertilized egg called? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drew, what is it? Ovum. On your whiteboard, please tell me what does an ovum become once it meets sperm? I got 2, 3, 4, 5. Neil, what do we got? Zygote. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is when an ovum becomes a zygote, it begins what period or what stage? I got 2, 3, 4. Come on. 5, 6. What is it, Hamilton? Germinal. On your whiteboard, please tell me when you're in the germinal stage, you're a what? When you're in the, just kidding. When the germinal stages ends when the zygote attaches to the what? Good, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. 6. Thomas, what is it?
Uterus.
Uterine wall. On your whiteboard, once the zygote attaches to the uterine wall, it becomes a what? Good, I got 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. 6. What is it, Marcella? Embryo. On your whiteboard, please tell me what stage is an embryo in? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. James, what is it? Embryonic. On your whiteboard, during what week to what week's end is the embryonic stage? Good. Come on. What is it, John? Week 2 to week 8. The embryonic stage is a total of how many weeks? On your whiteboard, how many weeks is it? Look at that math. How many weeks is it? Madison. All right. Don't use that phrase. Don't use that phrase, Katie. You're better than that. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is known as a recipe of how to make a human. What is known as the recipe of how to make you? Yes. I got 2, 3, 4, 5. Regan. DNA. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is. You have 23 of these from your mom. You got 23 of these from your papa. Good. Max. Chromosomes. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the final stage of pregnancy? Uh-oh. What is it, Drew? Fetal stage. When you're in the fetal stage, you're a what? You're not a baby. You're not a baby until you're born. What is it, John? Fetus. On your whiteboard, please tell me if I decide to go to the mall and ask a group of 35-year-old, 45-year-olds, and 55-year-olds what they think about Donald Trump and his administration, then I never speak to them again. What am I doing? No.
Oh, wait.
Good. What is it, Max?
Cross-section.
Why is it cross-sectional, Max?
Because you're interviewing different groups of people only once.
There you go. On CNN, there is a group of people of all different ages A bunch in the 20 to 30s and the 30 to 40 and then the 40 to 50 range. And CNN has been interviewing them every 6 months for the last year and a half, tracking who they thought they were going to vote for, who they voted for, and what did they think 6 months in. And now here we are a year out. What they think of it. What is it, Neil?
Cohort sequential.
There you go, cohort or cross-sequential. Why is it cross-sequential or cohort sequential, Neil?
Because it combines the two because it's different age groups we follow.
There you go.
Less than 6 years.
Perfectly said. All right, here we go. Let's finish off some stuff, cross some stuff up. Not a funny video. I have a video for you that caused some nightmares for some of my kids today.
Oh, so funny.
Some of the reactions I've seen today have been actually pretty hilarious.
Like nightmares, like
Like, my kid, Jackson, is never going to be the same. He sits in that seat. That's why I'm looking at you when I say that.
like why?
I will
Like,
happily.
is it-
No, it's not a birth video. I've made it very clear. I'm never going to show you a birth video. I just think that's so unnecessary. And if you wanted to see a birth video, there's plenty online. So, on your own time, you're more than welcome to do that. So, did we get to embryonic? So, when we talk about teratogons, we have all these different ones. One that, for some reason, stumped me this morning, I was like, hot water temperatures. That's hot tubs.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at a sign for a hot tub, they always say no pregnant women. And it's because it can cause increased neural tube defects, which means your kid won't think as fast. What?
I thought you said marijuana goes with the cigarettes.
What do you mean?
Alcohol cigarettes.
Whoa, what?
Like, when you explained fetal alcohol syndrome
Yeah.
the other day, I asked you if marijuana goes in that category too, and you said
It causes birth defects. It doesn't cause the same ones. It causes nervousness, tremors, and stuff like that. Well, alcohol is going to cause mental retardation, delayed growth, smaller size, stuff like that. So it's going to be more.
Alcohol is kind of like the worst.
No, I'd say cocaine's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, what does nervousness mean, like the babies?
High stress, high anxiety.
Like,
No, anxiety ridden. Radiation, I would say, is definitely the worst.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Rubella is a pretty common disease. Used to be a pretty common disease that you used to carry and you used to have and pass on to your children. Now we have a vaccine for it, so you got a vaccine for it. I think it's one of your first vaccines you get as a baby. All right, so the fetal period. Did we get to that? Cool. Fetal period is time about 8 weeks after conception, and then we have a fetus. By the way, this is both on your focus and your study guide for number 5, by the way. So maybe it's in one spot, but maybe not the other spot. Please double check and fill them in. So for your application, especially on your study guide for the fetal period, please write in, this is the largest growth period. So when you start the fetal period, you're about the size of a quarter. When you end it, you're like a baby. Like babies when they're born are usually around like between 7 and 8 pounds. So that's a pretty huge amount of growth. Would you agree? So it's going to be the largest growth.
What do babies eat?
Breast milk?
No, like when they're fetus. What do the fetus eat?
Oh, whatever the mom's eating. The mom's stomach breaks it down, and then all the nutrients just go straight to the baby. The first time the baby actually eats anything is the first time it receives breast milk. Their mouth has never been used before. Isn't that crazy?
Is that what the?
Their lungs have never actually been used before because the oxygen has just been pumping through their body beforehand. So the first time when they take their first breath, it's the first time their lungs have ever been used. Isn't that crazy?
So they're just like not moving.
What, in the womb?
It's like
Oh no, they're moving. Like when you see like a pregnant woman, especially in the last couple month, like you just see like feet coming out. Not like it's like coming through the flesh, but you can like see it moving, and it is the freakiest
like
thing.
the wall in Stranger Things.
What?
The wall in Stranger
That's-
Things in the first season.
Okay.
Do not.
I remember, but that's like crazy. That's like a crazy comparison.
Alien.
It moves inside of you, like it wiggles. In the third trimester, it goes from head up to head down, and you can like feel it move slowly every day.
That's awful.
How do they sleep like pregnant women?
They don't.
They don't really, especially in the last trimester. Some build like a fort, so they sleep on top of the pillows so they can sleep on their stomach.
Oh, there's like the massive pregnancy pillows.
Yeah, the ones that go in. Well, part of the problem is that when you lie on your side, the baby is like straight out, so like it hurts. It pulls on your back, so like you have like tons of pillows and stuff. Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
But I heard like instinctually you can't like even if you're asleep, if you like roll on your sleep, your body won't like roll on your front.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a pointed object going
Yeah.
forward. All right, and that's that. Huh? I don't think they're cute. Someone was like, "Oh my god, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen." Have you seen a puppy?
I think it's cool that you can see like the brain.
I mean, it is kind of cool. I mean, like you can see how much like organ development is in this photo to that photo, but like I mean, it's cool, but like it's like living in a sack.
It's weird how much it like bounces
How did
around.
you get
I mean, it's cool that we have a photo of it, but like it's just
You know,
weird.
you know, like the things in your phone you like pull
How did they
and it like moves.
Yeah.
That's what like the top right one looks like.
That's in the frame.
Doesn't
What? What are you talking about?
Like how
it?
glistening
Like,
that
No.
you, like you hold it and it like moves.
Oh yeah.
That's what that looks like.
Why?
Because they could colors.
Okay. All right, so on your study guide, I'm going to fill in miscarriage right now. It is when the body rejects a pregnancy. When the body rejects a pregnancy for chromosome or environmental reasons. When the body rejects a pregnancy for chromosome or environmental problems. So let me tell you about a girl named Alicia. She started dating her husband in 10th grade. They lived 4 doors down from each other in the town I grew up in. They dated all throughout high school, obviously. They went to Framingham State College, which is like 20 minutes from their door. She has a degree in nursing. She's a nurse. Well, she was a nurse. Now she does daycare. And her husband is a math teacher at the high school I went to that he graduated from. Their whole world is like this big. That's it. They've never lived outside the town they live in. So, anyway, they were my first, they got married when they were like 22. They got married when they were 22, and at 23, they decided to have children. They are my first friends, or first people I've ever known, that actually planned to get pregnant. So it was a big thing for like my entire friend group. Like they were like the first real grown-ups, you know what I mean? Because like back in, when I was in school, pregnancy was way more common. In the last 10 years, teen pregnancy has gone down significantly. Which is why here at Plant High School, which is a weird high school. Yours is not the normal high school experience. If you didn't know that, Plant High School is not normal.
Why not?
How affluent you are, how focused and how athletic you guys are as a whole is abnormal. The culture you have here is abnormal. This is not a normal college experience, a high school experience. Anyway, so in my high school, during the 4 years I was there, I think we had like 20 pregnant girls.
Did you have a daycare? They have, like,
We did.
Daycares,
Yeah, we had a daycare facility that you could go and stuff like that. Absolutely, which was great because those girls got to continue their education. It's a really good thing. Anyway, so this is the first person that I've ever knew that actually tried to get pregnant. So she wanted to surprise her mom because her mom wanted to have grandbabies and all that stuff. And so she threw a big surprise party where she told her mom that she was pregnant. She put it all over social media. She waited until the 8-week mark, and that is the big destination that you wait before you tell people. Typically, if you find out you're pregnant in week like 4, you may tell your parents. Hopefully, you tell whoever's the dad. But you don't go around telling everyone. You definitely don't put it on social media because anything before week 8, you could lose. You have a very high risk of having a miscarriage before week 8. It's very common. And after week 8, you're pretty much not going to lose the baby at that point. It's very uncommon. So she waited until week 8. The weekend of the week 8, she threw a big party, surprised everyone, told them that they're pregnant. She did the corny bun in the oven photo. It was cute for the first one. Now other people have done it, and it's just so, I'm so over it. All my friends are pregnant. It's really sad. Anyway, so she's pregnant. She announces. Now remember, she lives in a very small town, and she's lived in the same town. Her husband is a high school teacher, so guess who he told? All of his kids. So the whole damn town knows this sweet couple that went to high school together, grew up four houses down from each other, are getting married. They now live 8 doors down from where they lived. So not a big bubble. Week 12, she lost the baby. So think about it. So she wanted to have a kid. They got pregnant. She announced to everyone. There's a lot of things that happen when you have a miscarriage. First of all, let's just talk about the loss of having a kid. Can we agree? They started buying things. They're just so excited. Remember, they wanted to have the kid. They were ready for it. They've been married for like 3 years at this point, or 2 years at that point. They wanted to have a kid. So the psychological loss of losing a kid, I literally could not imagine what that feels like. The second component of it, everybody knows they're pregnant. When you go to the grocery store, hi, how's the mom-to-be? Oh my God, Mr. Cal, how's your wife? How's the baby? Everywhere you go, people are knowing that you're pregnant and asking about it. Can you imagine what that feels like? You have to tell those people. Can you imagine the pain of going through and telling pretty much everyone you've ever met in your entire life that you're no longer pregnant? Third thing, imagine if you're Alicia, you lost a child. Are you going to blame yourself? Absolutely. It's completely natural to blame yourself. What did I do wrong? What didn't I do? Did I not go to bed early enough? Did I not drink enough water? How could I have done better? What could I possibly do? Fourth thing, how do you think the relationship works between you and your husband? I mean, if you're Alicia, you're going to feel so bad that, it's not your fault that you lost a child, but it's still your husband's child who's just as excited as you were. You know what I mean? There's like this whole like guilt component to it. And as a husband, do you want to see your wife completely destroyed? How fast do you move on? How long do you mourn that whole process? It's an incredible, stressful thing on all parties and on the entire family. So how do you continue? How do you go forward? How fast do you try having another kid? Do you try having another kid? I mean, these are the things that people go through. Now, keep in mind, 1 out of 5 women will have a miscarriage. So is this a problem common or uncommon? Do we talk about it? Give me 2 seconds, Jay. No, it's very uncommon. I will say, though, about 2 or 3 years ago, Beyonce came out and said that she had a miscarriage before she had Blue. And it started this whole national conversation about miscarriages. And people, you know how we have this whole Me Too campaign against sexual assaults and stuff? Yeah. People coming out and saying it. When Beyonce came out and said that, yeah, I had a miscarriage before Blue, people were talking about it for the first time. So it took off a lot of this whole shade. Give me 2 seconds. So with that being said, think of all the psychological components to it, the emotional components, and the relationship components of a miscarriage. The other thing I want you to think about, when you have a miscarriage, you have to eradicate the body of the baby. So depending on where you are, dictates how invasive and how challenging it is. She's week 12, so, I mean, it was probably, I don't know, like that big. So it's going to pass like a really heavy period, right? The longer you go, especially if you're in your 3rd trimester, you have to give birth. Because you can't leave the baby inside, can you? You can't. It's going to decay and cause infection, and you're going to die because of it. So you have to pass it. Now, McCrae's mom had 7 miscarriages. He was the 8th. She had a miscarriage in the 3rd trimester and had to give birth to a stillborn. Miscarriages are a real thing that affect millions of people. Your mom may have had miscarriages before you, whether you know or not. They typically don't talk about it. The only reason why I know about Goose is because if I have children, I'm a red flag for everything. That I'm a high risk if I decide to have kids, which is a huge reason why I don't want to have kids. You know what I mean? If I have kids, I'm almost guaranteed that I will have miscarriages because I'm just so high risk on so many other things. Because of that, McCray and I have said, not because our relationship isn't strong enough, but why would we test it if we don't have to? You know what I mean? And why would I want to go through the psychological wear and tear of it? Because I don't deal well with disappointment, you know? I don't. So, miscarriages are very, very common. They're not very well talked about. It's very complex. The private, the emotional, the internal, and the social components of it. Be wary. Be aware. Because when you decide to have kids, or if you have a kid, you have to be willing, ready to raise the kid or lose the kid. So when you decide having kids in 2030, when I think you'll be responsible and have accomplished most of your life goals, which is what I want for you, to accomplish your life goals before you start, really getting out there. I hope you think about that, because it's a huge impact that will affect women in this room. Because 1 out of 5 have it. So, anyway. Spontaneous abortion. What?
Did your friend end up having a baby?
Yeah, she has 2 boys. And she's pregnant with a 3rd.
That makes it feel better.
She's pregnant with a 3rd. Yeah. I mean, I've had 4 friends who've had miscarriages. My best friend from Flagler, Brittany, she had a son. Then she got ready. She told me at week 7 that she was pregnant. And then I kept, called her a couple weeks later, and she's like, yeah. And she lost him at week 11. And she didn't answer the phone. She didn't answer the door when I came for the next, she didn't answer, return a phone call me back. I knocked at the front door a bunch of times. And Eddie was just like, yeah, she's not here. Because she didn't want to tell me. I mean, obviously we figured it out. Can we agree? When you're not posting exciting photos, when you're not, talking and engaging people, it's pretty clear. I was trying to show support, not oh my God, what's going on? Because I'm not a complete moron. But, James.
I have 2 questions.
What?
So you said you have, red flags. Does that
Yes.
mean it's, genetic?
I have genetic issues that will make it very, very hard, yes.
Is that with the male or female?
That's me.
No, but, in a couple, can the male...
It's both. No, male problems are mostly can they create a baby or not. That's, no offense, is your involvement.
All right, and then second, is abortion the same process as miscarriage?
Okay, so a miscarriage. Okay, so a spontaneous abortion is 3rd trimester. The body rejects the pregnancy for no reason. Spontaneous abortion is during the 3rd trimester. The body rejects the pregnancy for no reason. So what that means is, James, when you and your future wife get pregnant in a long, 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 long time away, okay? Ew.
25.
25? Oh my God, you'll be so young.
Oh, really? I'll be out of college.
Barely. Yeah.
If I did.
Anyway, so when you decide you want to have kids and stuff, when your wife gets pregnant and you go to doctors, you go all the time. When you go in the beginning, you go every 4 weeks, then you go every 2 weeks, and then towards the very end, you go every single week. The doctor is going to be checking all the pulse, going to do the little sonograms and all that crap that you've seen. They take blood. They're going to test, especially I think right at the beginning of the 3rd trimester, they test the little sac. You know how we saw the little sac that they're in? They do an embryonic sac test to make sure that the environment the baby is in is perfectly fine. They're also testing for other things. Your wife will be on, as soon as you get diagnosed, soon as you find out that you're pregnant, you go right on to prenatal vitamins, which is more iron, more all that stuff to make sure that everything is there. So imagine going through all those appointments and you get to the 3rd trimester, everything's fine, baby's healthy, great heartbeat, you get the little pictures of the creepy little sonogram photos. We all know they look creepy, nothing looks cute on those things. And then you go in one day and the doctor is like, there's no heartbeat. That's a spontaneous abortion. There's no indicators. We don't know why. There's no cause for it. The body just naturally terminates it. And we have no idea why. It's in the 3rd trimester, so what do you have to do?
Is
You gotta deliver.
Like a C-section, or do they induce labor?
It can be both.
What do they do with the baby?
It's your choice. It's your choice. You can bury it, which is the most common one, or you can allow the hospital to take care of it. So, I mean, these are the things you have to be prepared to deal with when you make decisions about having kids and doing. Like, you have to make these decisions. I personally don't think I'm responsible enough to make these decisions. So I say no go. All right, so that's spontaneous abortions. There's nothing that indicates there's anything wrong, and then there's something wrong in the 3rd trimester. All right, what else? I do have a video I need to show you because there is one question on the test about it.
What can cause multiple births?
Oh, that is going to be genetic predisposition for twins.
Okay, so multiple births.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either. What would it be?
Or two, like, if
I don't know.
And in vitro fertilization is the other one.
What's that?
In vitro?
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're an in vitro baby.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, because we have a surrogate.
Oh, really?
Carry me and Jack.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never met a surrogate baby.
And then they fertilized like 3 eggs, but only 2
Okay.
came. So I could have had a triplet.
Thank God.
You would have loved the third.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Wait,
Huh? In vitro spot? Send it out, girl. Alright.
Wait, I have a question.
What?
What could be an example for critical periods?
Critical periods are brain development where any teratogen, like alcohol, will have a negative effect. Alright, so, talking about our monozygotic, dizygotic, okay? I have a pair of monozygotic that didn't fully split.
Oh, is this Siamese? Oh, the Brittany and
Girl with the 2 eggs.
Yep.
This creeps me out.
This creeps me out.
Abby and Brittany were born with just one body between them.
Oh, is this in the church though?
Yeah, they are. Isn't that the weirdest thing?
My name's Abigail.
They're kindergarten teachers.
And Brittany Lee Henfeld, don't you dare say a thing about it.
The only known surviving dicephalous conjoined twins, they've spent their lives in a small, close-knit community, completely protected from prying eyes.
Have you never seen these people?
The girls live on a farm in Minnesota, with their younger brother and sister, Cody and Morgan, and their mum and dad, Patty and Mike. As they reach 16, and on the brink of womanhood, they've decided to show the world what it's really like to be joined for life.
Abby, Britt?
How you doing?
Oh, Mommy, no.
Is that what you people sound like when your mommy comes in to get you?
It's just an ordinary Monday morning in the Hensel household.
Abby and Brittany aren't morning people, and I think that's primarily because they have a harder time getting to sleep at night.
It's fine, don't touch it.
So they do a lot of tossing and turning at night, and bed is pretty much destroyed every morning. And so getting up in the morning isn't their favorite part of the day.
Every moment of their lives requires the twins to cooperate with each other. Each action is a display of perfectly coordinated teamwork. They appear to be totally in sync, but that doesn't mean they always agree.
Believe me, we are totally different people. Abby is more into pink and girly and preppy, and Brittany's more not into pink. Should we wear this? No. How about this? No. I like hats, and I like different color hair, like pink and purple, and gold hats, and gold purses, and weird earrings, and stuff like that. This is our room. We usually bargain with each other, like, if you do this, I'll give you that, or we take turns. We take turns a lot. This is our nightstand. This is our bed. Those are pictures of our friends from 8th grade. To describe Abby, she'd be bossy, and she's not as loud as she used to be. She used to be more outspoken. She gets irritated easily, and
Well, yeah, she never has any privacy.
I don't know. She's nice, and she likes people. She likes to be with people, and she's a big talker. And yeah, Brittany has become more outspoken, and she says her mind more. Than she's not so shy anymore. She doesn't like fast things. She'd rather go slower and take her time. She's nice and sweet and caring and loving and a good sister.
Abby and Brittany were born on March the 7th, 1990. The fact that they were conjoined twins was a complete shock to everyone. Even scans had shown only one baby.
When I went into the hospital, I was expecting one child. They were telling me that when they were trying to pull them out, they felt an arm, and then they felt another arm, and then they felt what they thought was another arm. And then with pulling them out, they realized that they were conjoined twins. They didn't really tell me anything initially. They pretty much whisked them off to the baby warmer, and I know they were calling for more help, and I just seen them busy over with the girls.
When the doctors came out, I noticed that they were in a panic, and they just came and talked to me and told me that
Do you want to see him drive?
Twins that were together.
They were beautiful.
And they have kids.
I don't know.
Abby was
How do you take a test?
I'm intrigued by this. So your windshield wipers and cruise control, and your radio and
This is their
defogger.
teacher.
And
Just
and the gas and the brake.
I think,
Oh,
I
you're the
thought about all the
oh.
calculated parts. I assume now you'll be freaking out police.
What if the police like pulled him over?
they have.
Abby and Brittany are about to undertake the ultimate test of their extraordinary skills. As their 16th birthdays approach, they're coming of age the American way and learning to drive.
Okay, today we're taking Cody for 2 hours of placement testing for high school, and then Ab and Britt are going to their last 2 hours of driver's training. It's so normal for me to have Ab and Britt that I'm sure I overlook a lot of things that other people look at and say, man, maybe when people tell me something that they see as spectacular with Ab and Britt, that it brings me back down to, yeah, they are spectacular. Okay, all right, let's get going. Now load up or we're going to be driving, girls?
Why not?
Everything that they have done, from riding bike to driving a lawnmower to riding horses to swimming, I never thought that driving would be an obstacle for them. In fact, I felt they were going to have an advantage having 4 eyes look
Once you watch out the blind spot.
for a car versus just 2 eyes.
Abby likes driving faster than me.
Why do you like to drive fast, Abby?
Because you get there faster, and it's more fun.
Driving made me nervous, just because they're girls and they're talking and they got so much going on, friends,
So
school.
this is what their anatomy looks like, and this is what always gets me. This is their anatomy. When you sit there and look at it, this is what they look like on the inside.
Who controls the legs?
They each control one.
They each get a leg?
Yeah, so each of them have their own nervous system. They have 2 esophagus, 2 throats, 2 hearts, 2 gallbladders, 2 stomachs, 3 kidneys.
Why do they have 3 kidneys?
I don't know. I wouldn't say this is natural, no. Then they have 1 small intestine, 1 liver, 1 large intestine. So everything gets funneled into one, and they have 1 reproductive organ.
So one heart like just like.
They have one. Oh, they have one. Do they both feel the need to pee at the same time?
I don't know. That's a really good question because they got 3 bladders.
They have one heart failure, one will die, right?
Then the other one will probably like slowly move it up.
How do you go to the bathroom?
They just pee like everyone else. Everything comes down into one.
Yeah, but they have 2 hearts. That's all.
That is so weird. But yeah, now they're like 27 and they're kindergarten teachers.
That would scare the children.
Apparently the kids are pretty cool with it. What do you got, Neil?
all die.
That's what.
What if the heart failure? One of them has a heart failure. They already have another.
The other one
One of them dies and then
But
the
don't
other
they have to?
one.
I mean, this is something that is just going to have to like.
It's like having to carry around your dead sister.
Yeah, you have to have a dead head on your body. But what happens if like one gets like
Then you lose
shot?
another.
Like, see, like, look at them. They're like teaching.
If like Addie was talking to one person and like it had
Huh?
like just like straight.
Like if one dies,
So we've done that before too.
I have no idea. I mean, could you imagine?
So since it's the last semester of our senior year of college, we've been student teaching and wrapping that up and trying to hang out with our friends as much as possible just before graduation comes.
I mean, just imagine. Can you imagine them being like a high school teacher?
Like if they apply to college, they build
We are not morning people and like
I don't
we don't
know.
get to go out.
No one has ever had this problem before.
Aren't they like they're probably like
Huh?
really smart because they can work on everything they get together. They would get like every because they can like work on tests together.
I guess it's just a thing.
Wait, did you say this thing? Not to eat something. Yeah, who's to eat?
They both eat.
Charlie,
They have 3 stomachs.
So they have to eat like double.
They both feel it.
7:45.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's tons of videos.
So
People are fascinated by
I think
these
that
two.
We're gonna get feedback from the students to see what they had to say.
I don't know about you, but if I saw that coming at me, man, I would be so freaked out. I know, and I bet they're really lovely people, but like,
Like, tell me you're not freaked out.
but I mean, think about it. So when you're a kid and you see another ethnicity you've never seen before, what do little kids do? And you're like, teach them like there's people of all different colors, races, backgrounds, religions. You teach them. You like, you're gonna see more of them get over it.
The teacher
But like
asked
when
the
you
students
see
very
them,
kindly, now, do you have any other questions
Maybe
now
it
that
teaches
they're
them
not
to be
here?
like more open-minded.
maybe. Regan, you always look for the positive, and mine is really
Also
something.
because I think they're fascinating.
I think they're fascinating too. How could you sit in a classroom and not just sit all there all day and be like, what? Who controls what?
Once you arrive to the place where you
They say they talk to each other. Like one head talks to one kid and the other kid, the other one talks to another kid, so they're talking to 2 different kids. And is it 1 salary or 2 salaries? It's gotta be 1. It's gotta be 1 because they can only teach 1 class at a time.
I
would not hesitate to put them in the classroom and hire them.
Group 2.
I don't know if they can.
There's no question in my mind that those really change the world for the better and influence lives in ways that those like myself, as one person,
What about like what if they
never would
both
be able
just
to
like
do.
bring out who to vote for and they like start fighting it?
Well, they have different.
Do they get 2? I would think they would get 2 ballots instead of 2 brains.
Well, how could you like separate them so they can't look at each other?
Maybe they would just be. I mean, they were probably gonna tell each other who they voted for anyway.
Oh my God, there's a spring break one.
So many
Jesus.
questions.
There's a lot of videos. I just saw you can watch Brittany and Abby at spring break.
Yeah, their whole life's probably documented. That's really Josh. What's the bathing suit?
This is just the weirdest thing.
You've never both up here.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was busy. You too, sweetie. Bye, guys. Have a good day. Bye, Jamie. Bye, Taylor. Have a nice day, darling.